Hello, I'm Marcus V. Calvert, and welcome to Tales Unlimited. Today's battery prompt is number 42. A mad genius infects herself with a psychic plague, which makes everyone's minds just as brilliantly twisted as her own. Mm. Okay, aside from the holy number of the prompt, 42, this one's special. This one's a book. Like, it compels you almost to go off prompt because you're trying to think, okay, how do I stop this from happening? How do I keep her from putting the virus together, the plague components? Maybe you got wind of it and you're trying to contain it. It's like someone's okay, secret agents are calling for a nuke strike over her location. Maybe the end they get the location wrong because she saw that coming and fed you like a false herring. She did two birds at one time. She made you take out Mount Rushmore, and then she's really like in I don't know, like 1,000 miles away, and she unleashes this plague. But I'll stay in prompt. She infects herself. Like you literally just, psst, story starts off. Yes. I feel perfectly normal, but the symptoms are like you have some sort of telltale, like you have blistering on your palms, only on the inside of your palms. It's the only clue. And of course, your eyes and maybe what you do. Now, let's step back. What is her particular madness? Is she a joker? Is she uh, Jason Voorhees? Is she some other kind of crazy? Hopefully not a cannibal. Define very carefully her wheelhouse of madness, her crazy. What are the four walls? You know what I'm saying? Then the idea is, okay, does it match perfectly between mind to mind to mind to mind to mind, or is everyone straight mental in their own unique way? Does their do their I don't know, civilities and their fears and their limitations just fall away, and whatever's left is their madness? Or are they all exactly like her? Cookie cutter madness. I'm thinking that's what the prompt says, so that's how I would go. Okay, that's part one. Part two is where? Where does she dose herself? Imagine she doses herself in Disneyland, like right in the middle of Disneyland, and she sits there for about an hour, hour and a half, and she looks down at her palms, and there's blistering, or she feels it in her blood. It's like, ooh, yes, like drinking hot cocoa just goes right through you. And she just starts skipping along. And maybe dumb luck, a cop on vacation spots her, or Fed on vacation spots her, and he basically tries to do a citizen's arrest or an off-duty arrest. And by the time, oh sure, I surrender. By the time it's done, he's letting her go, and they're skipping through, shooting people. It's a small world after all. Boom, 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 boom. And people come in and, oh yes, sure, I surrender. Because maybe it's not about infecting just Disneyland. Maybe it's also um, going to prison. So they cleared Disneyland. They let everyone out. The virus is spreading, and she ends up in prison, or she's on her way to prison, and someone figures out something is horribly wrong as she's being booked and processed. But by then, she's walked past guards, staff, and let's say every super villain prison has its own psycho isolation ward. But on the way there, she passes some prisoners, who are mopping the floors, and she just grins because that's what she really wants, to let all the villains think just like her. Oh, it becomes a race. All these heroes in hazmat suits converging. And it could be a book of just short stories, kind of like World War Z, only it's like, okay, some of the heroes got infected. Innocent civilians trying to be stopped or saved by other innocent civilians who maybe someone has an immunity, like some little girl is watching her entire household, like they all just tip their hats and walk off. And it's like, wait a minute, she's immune. Wow. Boom. That's better. They shoot her and walk off. So they need to find somebody who's immune. They need to reverse engineer they need to make a cure, and then they need to release this airborne. somehow, some ways. It's not about vaccinations. You have to fix this now, or everyone thinks like this crazy broad. And she's just laughing in her little isolation box. Yes, that's how I do it. How would you do it? Okay, I'm Marcus V. Calvert. This is Tales Unlimited. Please check out talesunlimited.net. That's our website. You will find two podcasts. One is Batchery, this one, and one is The Disturbing Thought of the Day. A little bit darker, normally. Let's see. Then there are the books. Batchery involves 200 prompts, a little bit of wisdom on writing. The idea being you take half of those prompts, write 100 short stories, however you see fit, go off prompt, whenever, tailor it to yourself, and then go after the great American novel because you have kind of trained yourself through writing short stories on telling a story, finishing what you start. You build a lot of good habits and you see your weaknesses too. Now, it's also good for people who are further along, say a game designer, a professional novelist, screenwriters, anybody looking for a strange idea. Please check out Batchery. Then there are the short story anthologies, Unheroic, Book of Schemes. Both are New School Twilight Zone, 25 stories to either book. Themes are different, though. Unheroic's about unlikely heroes saving the day, like a math prodigy is being asked to disarm a math problem before it explodes. And then there's schemes, all kinds of schemes, like what if someone stumbles into an alien chop shop under a human chop shop under a junkyard? Modern day. Then let's see. My villain. Novel series. Supervillain fiction. What would happen if Benjamin Clyde, gentleman fixer, dude in a suit, who helped in the clean sweep massacre of 2011, wherein 99% of all heroes got wiped out? What if he is riding high? He's the top of his game. He is the best fixer on the planet. You give him a problem, he has a small army of elite mercs to solve that problem until that night, where he's forced to give it all up and fight crime. They tell him if you leave this town, you die. If you skip a night fighting crime, you die. And if anyone helps you, they're marked for death. Best of luck. This slightly overweight crook with high cholesterol and no apparent skill sets. His life expectancy is nothing, right? Well, they are so wrong about him because he has a past. He let himself get fat. He changed his face because he retired. He was wanted for treason. And super spy is all I'm going to give you as a hint. But he decides to get into the world-saving business with a vengeance. And he does it his way. All right. Marcus V. Calvert, Tales Unlimited. Please check us out. Till next time.